Hello, 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 hello. Hello everyone. So today our target is to learn the basics of React, uh, creating a basic React app, and ability to actually run the app, see the front end running in your browser. After thinking a lot, I'm gonna switch to React. The reason being, the basics of JavaScript can be learned from W3 schools or the resources I have provided in my reports. But the concept of React are a bit tough to understand right away. So I'm going to focus on them. And yeah, so with this, we'll start today's session. So as you can see, I have this React training folder, and I'll say open an integrated terminal. So for React to work on your system, initially you need to install Node.js. As I mentioned in my previous video as well, that you have to install Node.js. Once you have Node.js installed, what you can do is you can run npm I-g create React app. So let me break this command down. So NPM stands for Node Package Manager. Uh, 1 second, I'll give you a brief about it. So when I search NPM, I get this website called npmjs.com. So NPM stands for Node Package Manager. So when it comes to JavaScript ecosystem, there are n number of libraries which are created by developers. So all these libraries are open source. Let's say you want to create a front end using React, and you want to use a table, or you want to add date picker, these kind of things. So uh, developers, they created these components, these libraries, and they made it open source and available for all of us. And all of these libraries are registered on NPM. There are other registries as well, but NPM is the most popular one. And so let's say you want to see a date picker, and just search it here. You'll find date picker. See, there are n number of date pickers available. There is something called React date picker. So this is a date picker which you can use with your React applications. And there'll be simple reusable date picker component for React. So these kind of reusable components have been created by developers, and all you have to do is find it, install it in your system, and use it. Right? So other things I'll explain. So what is Create React App? So the Create React App npm package, it helps you to spin up a basic React app, and on top of which you can start making changes and editing it the way you want. So it's like a getting started thing, a boilerplate. Just run it. It will make a basic setup which is required for a React app to run. And all you have to do is just go in and start making changes the way you want. So yeah. So now when I run this command, it will install the Create React App package or library globally. So this -g flag which I have passed, it will install it globally. So whenever you use npm I, so npm I stands for install, and -g stands for global. So whenever you run npm I, you can either install a package in a particular project which you are developing, or you can install it globally. So why I'm installing it globally? Because I want to reuse it for multiple. Create React App is a boilerplate, so I don't want to install Create React App in my React front end, but I want to use Create React App to spin up a project. That's why I'm installing it globally. Okay. So once I enter it, it will fetch it and install it, and that's done. So now inside React training, I want to spin up, or basically create the first basic React project. So how will I do it? I'll say npx, then create React app, and then the name of the app which I want to use. So I'll say um, first app. You see, it automatically created the first app folder, and now it is installing the dependencies. You can see installing packages. This might take a couple of minutes, and it's saying installing React, React DOM, and React scripts with CRA templates. So this is just gonna spin up a basic project. It will take a couple of minutes. So till then, we'll see what all things are appearing here. So firstly, let's go through package.json. It will keep on updating as this process is going in the background. Yeah, so I think it's about to be finished. Yeah. So what do we see on the terminal? We see added 1393 packages in 42 seconds. So this packages means the npm packages. So it basically installed 1393 npm packages and initialized Git repository, then some severity. These are the vulnerabilities and all those things. We can fix them using this command. Nonetheless, then inside this success created first app at this location, and inside that directory you can run several commands. So we can run npm start command, which starts the development server. We can run npm run build command, which bundles the app into a static files for production. Npm test to run test. Npm run eject, so it removes the tool and copies build dependencies. So I think the relevant ones for us for now are npm run and npm run build. So we'll get inside that directory using cd first app. So now as we are inside, let's just do a test run. So I'll just run npm start here. It's saying would like to run this app on another port. So by default, whenever you run npm start, it runs that particular app on port 3000. But there's also something already running on my port. So it is asking me if I want to run it on some other port. So I'll say yes, and you see it automatically switch to my browser, and now you can see a basic app running here. So it is saying this is the logo of React which is rotating, and it's saying edit src/app.js and save to reload. And there's a link for learn React. So this is how the basic create React app looks like. Okay. Now let's go through the package.json. So package.json is basically a JSON object, and there are different key value pairs here. So name, the name of the app, the version of the app, private, true. Then these are the dependencies. And there are two types of dependencies. One is dev dependency and other is normal dependencies. So, okay. So, one second. Sorry for that. Yeah. Yeah. So these dependencies, they are nothing but the npm packages installed for this particular project. And you can see here React DOM. You must be knowing DOM by now, document object model. So React has its own DOM, React DOM. So they call it virtual DOM. So how it works is, you already know DOM is used to manipulate the HTML tags, right? So how React works is, React maintains a virtual DOM, and virtual DOM is in contact with actual DOM. So whenever there are any changes happening in the React will let React DOM know that these are the changes in the virtual DOM. Then React DOM will ship these changes to the actual DOM, and they will be reflected. Okay. Going forward, we have React scripts. So React scripts, you can see they are used here. React script start, build, test, eject. So whenever we want to run our project, we are actually using React scripts to run it, or build it, or test it. Okay. There are other details here which are auto-generated, and you can go through it afterwards. But let's uh, as the app is running and we're seeing the output here, let's do some actual coding in it. So Okay, so the text written on the browser was to go inside app.js and make our changes, and they will be reflected. So, okay, firstly, I want to remove this learn React link. So I'll remove it. I'll save it, and you see in the console below here, it said compiling and it kind of reloaded. So now if I go back to browser, you see that particular link that is gone. So this is called hot reload. So whenever there is a change in your code, the whatever the changes are, they are automatically shipped to a browser. So you don't have to do refresh every time or build every time. So whenever you're doing npm, whenever you run npm start, whatever changes you do in your code, they will be reflected automatically in your browser. Okay. So we covered what hot reload is. Uh, okay, I think the next part is to understand what Create React app has created for us, right? So one by one, this is the node modules folder. There are hundreds of files, like thousands of folders here. So node modules is nothing but a folder which contains all the packages which are being installed. So every package is like a tree uh, thing. Like when you install React, you're saying that my project has a dependency of React. So I'm installing React. So once React is installed, React will have again its own dependencies, and those dependencies may or may not have its own dependencies. So that's why, even though in the packages we are just seeing this 6, 7 dependencies, but in node modules there are thousands of directories here. Okay, next thing is public folder. So the public folder contains the static files of your project. So every website which is created in HTML and React, they has index.html. So if I make changes in this file, again they will be reflected. So this is the basic HTML file. We have head, we have this link for icon, then theme color, viewport, meta tags for description and all. Then this link relationship for Apple Touch icon. So these things are kind of the meta information, the previews we see whenever we paste any link in, let's say, WhatsApp or Slack. We automatically see previews. So those previews, they are obtained from the information and images which are mentioned here. Then we have this title. So I want to change it from React app to first React app. Again, it refreshed, and now in the title we can see first React app. And then we have body. In body we have this div with ID root, and that is it. Like that's all we have, and that's all we actually need. So the way React works is it will find like basically we tell React that use this particular uh, tag as your base, and the React will just keep on changing the inner HTML of this root. We'll see how it works. So next is we have these logos and this icon. Then we have this manifest.json. Again, this manifest.json is again used for the previews and the uh, images and descriptions which we see whenever we copy and paste the link. Robots.txt, it is something which is used for HTTP request and what all things are accessible and what all things are not. Okay, checking the app.js again. So in src folder, we can see there is an index.js. So in index.js, we're importing React, we're importing React DOM like this, React DOM / client. Then we are importing this index.css. In index.css, you can see there are styles for body and the code. Next, in index.css, we are importing app here. So the app.js, we're importing that app here. And we're using this report web vitals, which came in the boilerplate code. Line number 7 and line number 8 to 12. So this is the interesting part which you need to focus on. So on line number 7, what we have done is we have actually we got the root element using document.getElement by ID. So this gives us the root div, which we saw in the index.html. So we get this div. Then we say that create react dom.create root. So what we're saying is we're telling React to use root div as a root element. So create root replaces react.render when render method is called and enables concurrent mode. So basically react dom.create root, and inside that document.getElement by ID root gives us the ability to actually render React components in the div with ID root. And on line number 8, what we're doing is we're doing root.render, and we are rendering the app component which is enclosed in react.strict mode. So even JavaScript has strict mode. So strict mode nothing but a different paradigm of language, not that different, but there are some rules and some language specifications which are strict there. They has to be followed. If you don't use strict mode, there are some language features which you can use, and in strict mode, those features you cannot use. It's like some strong rules which you have to follow. So like this, we are actually just changing the body of this div. So that's why React applications, they're called single page applications, because you just have one HTML page. It has a div, root, and React is just changing the contents of that div. So whenever you click on something and you see page getting changed, I moved from about us page to profile page. The HTML doesn't change. The HTML file doesn't change. Just the inner HTML of root div that changes. Okay, so I think we have good amount of basics covered here. Okay, I have 10 minutes, so let's just see how app component has been created. So we are importing logo from /logo.svg. So this, we have a logo.svg in src folder. This is nothing but the React logo which is rotating here. So we don't want this, we'll just remove this. And now it's showing error that logo is not defined, so we don't want that as well, so we'll remove this also. And this whole thing, so we just keep the div app. Once I save it, now we have a completely blank page. And now let's say we want to create a basic calculator. Okay, how will you do that? So let's say input type text we're seeing a text here, text input. I'll say number 1, and I'll add one more, number 2, number 1 and number 2. And break in between, so I'll say BR, so it will go to the next line. Yeah, good enough. And after one more BR, I'll add a button. Say add. See, it's there and it's completely static. Now I want to add an ID to this. I'll say num1, second ID here, num2, and I'll say on click of this, for answer we need something, right? So div with the ID equal to answer, and I'll say const add is equal to a function. So this declaration you see, it is a declaration of a function itself. You can declare function like this also. So this is where you define the parameters. So if you have a comma b, you'll define them here, and the content of the function, the definition, the code inside the function, you will write in these curly braces, and you can call this as a function normally. You see, a b. These are called arrow functions because we're using this arrow here. And if you don't assign this function to anything, if it's like this, then it's called an anonymous function. Okay. We declared this arrow function here, we don't need these, and we'll say let num1 is equal to document dot get element by id num1, and do the same for num2, and then I'll say document dot get element by id in bracket answer dot inner html is equal to parse int of num1 plus parse int of num2. Let's see if it works or not. Yeah, and here on click we have to add, we have to call the add function. Let's say add. Okay, let's see if it works or not. One, two, add. It is saying not a number. So what went wrong here? Get a number ID. Okay, yeah. I forgot to do this dot value because we want to get the value of it. Let's try it again. Yeah, now we're getting 3. So, so this is not the way you will do operations in React, but I just wanted to showcase that the normal JavaScript, which is where we use the document and DOM, it also works in React. But React, provides you features like states and props and components and composition, things like lifecycle methods, and a lot of other things which you can use to structure your front ends in a really systematic way, and actually build smart and intuitive front end applications. So we'll see these other features, stats, states and props, and all these things in the upcoming sessions. But I hope this was helpful. And if any questions, feel free to message me, email me. I have mentioned all the details here. And I think, yeah, this is it for today. Thank you for attending this, and please subscribe, share with your friends, and you know, just be vocal about it. Share your issues, your problems in the comments. Okay. Thank you very much. Bye bye.